Hello, everyone. It has been a long time. Let me check my watch. It's been almost 2 weeks since I've recorded a video. Last one I recorded September 1st. We are on the 18th. So I guess it's almost 3 weeks. Anyway, I have some time to kill. Once again, it is storming outside. But I am inside alone doing another video. I don't know why I'm looking around, why I'm making this very theatric. Today, not hidden coins. This is the hidden coins video. We are going back to my childhood. We were playing the great Quest for Glory. Hopefully, I have everything up and running. But we're going to find out because I'm about to change things around. It is a mouse and keyboard game. It is starting very soon. I promise you. There's a cat meowing at me. Anyway, a lot of people might know Sierra for King's Quest and Space Quest. These are games that also came out. But this is I guess their more lesser known product, Quest for Glory series. It is probably my favorite of the Sierra series. Over King's Quest, over Space Quest, even though Space Quest is really great. But I will show you why this one is great as well. So the big warning, do not make illegal copies of this game. I have it on CD. Don't worry, I'm not. Contained in the documentation. In other words, not just the law, it's a good idea. It's great. The majestic music Quest for Glory play. Oh, MIDI files. Where have you been all my life? We're not going to do an introduction. It's just credits. Start a new hero. Here, so Quest for Glory, let me try and explain this game. Is basically the combination of you take an adventure game such as King's Quest, where it's all about puzzles, solving puzzles. The camera's out, so of course the cat now wants to get in front of it. The cat knows what's up. So adventure games like King's Quest and Space Quest. Keep moving. Move. What it does is it kind of combines a lot of aspects. It also does action. It does your adventure. There's still puzzles, and it does RPG. And it tells a story. And your choices matter. There's a lot to cover. But anyway, so we get to start. You can start as a fighter, or the thief. The first game is kind of great because you can kind of craft characters how you want. But what's cool is that I'll select character to stop that animation. Each character can approach the puzzles in 3 different ways. That's mind-blowing to me when I was a kid. There's a puzzle that, very early on is just like rescue this guy. If you're a fighter, you just go in and you fight. That's what you do. If you're a thief, you go in and you sneak and try and avoid being caught. And then you have to do battle. And if you're a magic user, you can either fight with magic, or there's actual spells that you can use that diffuse the situation. What you can do, the bottom here, points available, you have 50 points to spend. These are kind of your RPG attributes. Each one has a purpose. I have strength, I'm not going to cover all of them, so I won't. But what's kind of great in the first game is that you can add things to 0. 0 means you have no ability, you can't do anything. As long as you put 1 point in it, that means you can use it. So I always make a thief who can use magic. It's just the best of both worlds. And then just like, alright, yeah, we should be better at that. Make it a little stronger, make his magic better. Boom. Give him a name. And I think everyone who's watching probably has the same idea for a name. Little Mark Paul Gosler. I don't know if that's how you spell it. So I won't use it. Saved by the bell. We'll just kill him. Oh, we'll just do Phil. That's me. That's easy. People can't get mad at me. When we start this bad boy. This is actually the second version of the first game. The first game and the second game came out, and there was a text processor. So you would type in what you want to do. Look at sheriff, talk to lady, and you would type everything out. This they redid, and they made it so now it was a little bit more up to date at the time, and you can just use your mouse and different icons. I will not read or make you read everything. Since we only have an hour, I want to show stuff. But here's the story. You are a would-be hero. Is you here? Guy with the red cape. Look at how he stands. That's very like how heroes would stand. You always stand like that with your arms like that. I do that at work if I'm just standing still. Makes you look very important. But what you are is you are a hero who was traveling the land, and you came to this little town. It's called Spielberg. And it turns out that Spielberg is in need of a hero. You can't leave Spielberg because an avalanche has collapsed snow onto the road that apparently is the only road out of Spielberg. So you were stuck in Spielberg. Spielberg is huge, the little town of Spielberg. And I will kind of show you that. So here is kind of, just do the mechanics here. By right-clicking the mouse, you change the icon of your cursor. Lips are for talking. This is for walking. This is for looking at things. This is for picking up things. You have a couple other options in this little button up here. You can change your walk to a run. You can, if you're a thief, you can go into sneak mode. That's how you sleep. This kind of gives you a look at your stats. This is the time of day. Yes, time of day is important. And that's it. In this one, it's blocked out. Those are your spells. Inventory. There is a whole lot of stuff. It is very deep, complex game, but I absolutely love it. You can look at almost anything. You can, I don't know, there's a lot to cover. The Sierra games always had a score, which I thought was funny, because technically it tells you how well you're doing. By the end of the game, you will have a score. It could be 400 to 500 points if you beat it. You get points just for talking to people. There is no voice. This is before voice casting. You just get a little picture, the guy's face, and then you have to read it. What he is basically telling you and all this stuff, you just, read everything. But what he is telling you is basically what I told you, that there is a lot of stuff that needs to be heroed. Brigands taken over. They've robbed a merchant. There's treasure. There's the king has lost his son, has disappeared, and his daughter was captured by brigands. There's also an evil witch. Her name is Baba Yaga, which is a great name, by the way. And she is tormenting the land. The three things I think you need to do to beat the game is investigate the son, the daughter, and get rid of the witch. So, with Sierra games, if anyone is unfamiliar with Sierra games in any fashion, whether it be King's Quest or Space Quest, the whole thing with Sierra is they were adventure games that you could die in. Sometimes suddenly, sometimes not so suddenly. So, for instance, just to kind of show you, if you save your game often, you got this dagger here. If I try and kill... Oh, I can't. Not. Alright. You know what? Let's try my favorite one. You were a thief, you have a lockpick. And... Oh, death. And then they have a death. Let's see what happens to you. Yeah. I took a lockpick and I inserted it into my nose to try and pick my nose. Get it? And I shoved it in too far and killed myself. That is my favorite death that can happen to you. But so you have to save often because you never know when you might die. A click in the wrong direction, if you were trying to stand in front of a door and pick the lock and you accidentally clicked on yourself, you die. There's no other reasons for it. But, okay, let's continue the game. The town part is boring from the start. There's a lot of, you know, filling in the story. But what obviously you guys won't see is they had multiple games planned for the series, which was great. Because at the end of each game, they tell you to save your character. Back in the day, you had to save it on a floppy disk. You'd have to insert it into your computer, and then it would read that you have a floppy disk in your computer, and then it would save your hero. Something that most people probably don't even know what a floppy disk is. But what then you could do is you could import that character into the next game. Any items that you had get carried over. The amount of gold that you have got carried over. The skills that you have got carried over. Spells that you had got carried over. And, you know, some choices that you make get carried over. This is, I mean, obviously now everything is all about choices and what you do and what you don't do. While this game didn't have, I mean, it was still very linear in the sense that you had to, you know, do what the game was asking of you. You had to rescue certain people. But at the same time, you know, there were choices that could make that could then get carried over to the second game, to the third game, fourth game. A lot of that is just, you know, did you have spells or certain items, or did you do kind of optional quests? Haha, only sane person here, she's not off her rocker. Yeah. Old lady's house, magic shop, the eye up here follows you. That's pretty great. What a babe, huh? I mean, a lot of the stuff, like, you see I'm just clicking on, there's the topics, and the topics kind of go into subtopics. They explain a lot of what's happening. That's all the games, that's all the Quest for Glory games. There is a lot of background, there's a lot of history, there's a lot of lore to it. And so obviously it's kind of setting the stage. It's also, since it's the first game, it's really kind of explaining things. What do potions do? You know, what is all the stuff? And some of the stuff, what's kind of crazy to think about, is that this girl in particular references stuff that doesn't happen until the second game. I believe when you talk about initiation, like become a full wizard once you learn the 9 spells, distant south where you must journey. So it's like, that's all stuff that you do in the second game, if you're a magic user. To buy things, you have to actually get your inventory out. You got to put gold on the people. A lot of this stuff, you know, if you haven't played these games of the past, you were like, what the shit is this? Slam it up for 2? Do not. Did I spend all my money on fetch? 10 silver pieces. Alright. One of the things to do with like any Sierra game, just pump the speed up. Detail? I don't think it actually does anything. But pumping the speed up only speeds up your character, which is great. Doesn't speed up the time of day, doesn't speed up the animations. It just speeds up your character. There are a lot of the Quest for Glory was done. The writers of it put a lot of in-jokes into the game that obviously a lot of it won't land unless maybe you've played Space Quest or King's Quest. I mean, this is the time when Sierra dominated the market. So they just expected you that if you did these things, you would know. Like Slain by Two Guys from Andromeda. I won't explain every joke, but that is on the Space Quest box. Is that I believe two pig-looking people, and they're the two guys. I think they're either the writers or whatever that's worked on Space Quest. Even I don't have it, but his name's Wolfgang Adventurer, pretty much. And this is the Adventurers Guild. You know. Courtesy of this here online prop department. Plaque under the moose. Come on. Hilarious jokes. Yeah. There are some games that, you grow up. Here's kind of the quest board that you kind of come to. I mean, these are the 5 quests. Or not 5, but all the quests that are really in the game. Lost Ring, Elsa von Spielberg, Capture of the Brigand Warlock, Brigand Leader, and Baron von Spielberg. I should talk to these people. There's a day and night cycle. As I was kind of pointing out, time matters in terms of what's available when. At nighttime, harder bad guys are out and about. Upper torso of a teenager and the body of a filly. She is a centaur lady, in case you were wondering. Can't date her, she's too young. Got some apples. I'm solving puzzles that we haven't even come to yet in my head. What I was saying is there's some games that you grow up on, and I definitely grew up on this series more than King's Quest or Space Quest. I mean, besides Monkey Island and Final Fantasy even later in my life. Final Fantasy came after this. Is there a series that I may have started over and over and over again just out of enjoyment more than the Quest for Glory series? And surprisingly, like, if you ask people about their favorite Sierra stuff, or if you ask about this game most of the time, they have not heard of this. Alright, spent all my money. And I think it's a shame, because I think this is a really great series that kind of combines elements of everything. So, I guess I can just clear out all of the town. Butcher and the baker playing Go Fish. As you know, kids do nowadays. So, I was saying a lot of things, and then I lose track because I actually pay attention to the game for a second. Day and night cycle. So this game has a day and night cycle, and things change. There's one quest that you obviously have to do at a certain time of day. That's a little bit different. But there are things like at nighttime, the town gate closes. So if you're not in by nightfall, then you might be stuck outside of it. Or you have to, figure out another way inside, which, isn't always easy. Bad guys are stronger outside. There's a lot. So, kind of take a quick tour of the world here. So you have your main town. And actually, what I should be doing is sneaking. That's what you look like when you sneak, right? You sneak around, you crouch down, kind of get that hunchback. Then there is just wood maze. You can go in many four directions. Ooh, that's actually we'll get into our first fight. Fighting is, can't really pause it, but there's these 4 commands down here. Those are your options. You have to time your swings when they're exposed, stuff like that. You can loot bodies. 7 silver pieces. But what I was saying is, so the woods are just a huge maze. You never get a map in the game. You are expected, when you first played this game, to just map everything out on a piece of paper or in your head to know where to go. Somehow, I'll keep fighting. I still to this day, without having the piece of paper, have probably 90%. Oh, am I gonna die? I wasn't paying attention. Too tired. Gotta do all that town stuff over. F that noise. Yeah, you're supposed to save often. I didn't. Supposed to map everything out on a piece of paper to kind of know what to do. I have this map probably memorized. I know exactly how to get to all of the little special areas for the most part within a screen or two. I know that to the right here is a hermit that lives in that cave. I mean, like, I know how to get to. I don't know. It's. I mean, it's hard to explain, but it's funny that it's just like, out of all of the things I've learned in life, the thing that will never leave me is the Quest for Glory 1 map. It's just ingrained in my head. Yeah. The more you do something, the more the stat levels up. Here's kind of our statistics. It might be hard to see on your screen, but anything that is highlighted in red are things that have increased. They can't decrease. The max is 100. You can get 100 in absolutely any stat. And then what's great is that if you do play the next one, you can import your character. And then it'll be great. So, this bird has the healer's ring. I know that because I just do. Kind of want to show you what's kind of cool. Oh wait. About like the problem solving and like the puzzles for this game. First, I have to go buy a spell. My tip is that if you're going to be a thief, you start off and you just sneak everywhere, because this is slowly just raising your sneaking, and once it gets to 100, you can pretty much sneak through the entire forest without bad guys noticing you there. Fetch. So let's go back to that bird. First quest, easiest quest. So there's if what you can do, right? So you find out that the rings are up there. I believe the healer says like that her pet bird stole it or something stupid like that. So you have a if you put you have a throwing skill, right? So what I could do, oh god, what's happening? Cat, get off of that. Or you can see it glint. If you're good enough at throwing, right? You can throw enough rocks, and you'll eventually get good enough to knock it down. That's one way. You can work on your climbing skill. It's kind of every time you're clicking, you're just like, oh, you're not getting anywhere. You're not actually doing anything. But what you don't see is behind the scenes that my climbing went from 10 to 14. Click it, let's say 4, 5. Now it's at 18. So you can do this to get better at climbing. Eventually you can climb up the tree. I won't sit here and do that for everyone. So those are like your two if you're a thief or you're a fighter. I don't think fighters actually start with any climbing skill. So if you didn't put any skill into it, then you're using the rocks. Thieves start with climbing skill and throwing skill, so they can technically do it either way. Or if you're a magic user and you bought fetch, you can cast this spell. It brings you the take the gold ring, place the nest on the ground. And now I have the gold ring, and I did it the magic way. So a lot of puzzles are like that throughout the entire game, where it's like, okay, which character is it possible that the player selected, and how do we make it so that character can do it? You can sleep. That's how you regain your energy. Like I said, time. There's not, as far as I know, I've never taken long enough where the days matter, like how long you're in there. I imagine there's a cutoff point. Maybe if you take 100 days to beat the game, then it finally is just like, no, eventually somebody died. But like the time of day, it's like it's mid-afternoon now. If I was to keep sleeping, let's do hours, huh? Once your energy's full, you can't sleep anymore. But anyway, let's give our healer her ring. Stupid pet. What do you ask her about? Well, I just give it to her. Gives me money, gives me some healing potions, and then a big smooch. She chases you because she wants to keep kissing you because you're a handsome guy. Handsome Jack. Okay. So, I mean, I could probably just freaking speedrun this game if we really wanted to. There's the farmer. That is the dad of the girl that was in the farmer's market. Got his ass beat by some monsters. That's not good. But yeah, so like this forest extends for a while, and if you don't know where you're going or you're writing down where you're going, it is very easy to get lost. Like if you know, I don't think there's anything to my left. Oh, battle. Dinosaur. On the right side is his hit points. On the left, the top is hit points. The middle is energy. The bottom is magic. Swinging uses energy. No treasure. Why wasn't that dinosaur carrying any treasure on them? I don't think anything's to the left, but like, if you just start making random directions. Okay, I'm gonna go up here, and then up. I can only go right. And what's this way? And like, oh, I'll go right again. Like you can get lost. You're like, oh, I'll go down here. Okay, I'll follow me. They'll eventually give up. But, I'm just like, oh man, I don't really know. Like, they block off some ways, but at the same time, it's not always, like, best. So if you're just clicking around randomly and you're just like, well, I hope I bump into something, you might be in for some bad times. This is an area you go to a lot. This is the Goblin training ground where they try and fight you. Goblins are easy. In case you're wondering. They're not just that good, they don't hold their shield that much. Threw that dead goblin a long way. Every time you come back here, there's one more goblin than you fought before. So if I was to go back in there, there'd be 2 goblins. That's kind of where you go. You want to level up your stats and stuff. Get some mushrooms. Like RPGs of now, you do have kind of an encumbrance limit. If you're carrying 35 pounds, you can carry up to 53. If you carry too much, then you can't run or you can't sneak. And then if you keep picking up more stuff, then eventually it just starts to, lower your health while you walk, and you have to get rid of stuff. These are my favorite characters. The Meeps. Try and grab a rock, and pulls it down. Look at these creepy things. I mean, it's like Jim Henson's Muppets on acid. Just a ball with feet. Live underground. Terrifying. I don't even remember what you need his fur for. But I'm going to get it now while I can. That's it. Can't tell you, only the green one comes out. Can't talk to the other ones. Got detect magic. That's good. You just cast it and it's like, there's no magic, or there's magic. Not really super useful. Whoa, I don't have the energy. Right now, dinosaur. Majestic. Majestic deer. Let's follow it, shall we? Something special about this place. Oak tree. Oh my god. Yeah, I want the woods. Okay. She wants a seed. If I remember correctly, it is just north of the Meeps. So those are the Meeps to the left. Right. Here are the Meeps. I believe it would be up here. And around. Oh boy. See, I don't remember exactly where the spore spitting thing is. I know it's close to here. I know right up there is Baba Yaga. You don't want to fight Baba Yaga. See? I'm lost. Oh boy. Oh shit. Run away. There they are. That's a centaur. A cheetah tar, whatever it is. They're super tough. And they only come out at nighttime. And so it must be nighttime. Yeah. Early night. So, here's another one of those fun puzzles. They might actually be sleeping. And I believe they are. Alright, so let's instead go to Orana's Peace, the safe place in the forest. Go up here. Boom! Safe, bright place in the forest. This is... You can sleep anywhere in the game. But this is the only place in the forest that you can sleep and not have to worry about getting in trouble. If you just sleep on the regular forest floor, it's like a percentage that you might get woken up and have to do a battle immediately. You might just die. Because they'll say that a monster snuck up on you and killed you while you were sleeping. So, I mean, it's kind of take your risk, but here, you can sleep. You can't run, you can't even sneak. It's so peaceful here that you can kind of do anything you want. But let me kind of show some more. Just do a 60-minute there. Let's leave here. Let's head back to town. Brigand. Brigands are slow. And down here, we'll find our buddy. Oh, god damn it. That's even, I think, tougher than, here we are. Farm. Centaur goes away. It's nighttime. If you were to go up to the castle, which we haven't gone up to, that gate's closed. You can't get into it. Look, this is closed. How do I get in? Well, if you're good enough at climbing, you can climb over the wall. And now you are in town. You can stay at an inn. You can do all sorts of fun stuff. But being a thief, first thing you want to do is find the Thieves Guild. Long story short, you're about to get mugged. If you go in there as a fighter or a mage, your only option is to, if you're a fighter, I think you just have to pay them. You can't even fight them. If you're a mage and you have there's a calm spell later, I think you can calm them and get out of it as a kind of a one-time trick. Otherwise, you have to give her money. If you try and leave, if you try and run, if you try and fight them, they kill you. And then you just have to load your game over, all because you're like, what's that twinkly glow? If you were a thief, the hand icon, not only is it pick up and open and all that stuff, but for that one particular one particular instance, you make what is the Thieves Guild sign, which in later games I think describes it as like sticking a finger in your nostril and rubbing your belly or something stupid like that. But what they told you is that you talk to Crusher, which I'm going to tell you this guy, and you tell him a password and he'll grant you access to the Thieves Guild. If you don't get that from them, that option isn't available. What's great about the Thieves Guilds, well, A, is all place only you can go as a thief. Even if you're a fighter or a mage and you give yourself lock-picking ability, you can't go in there because you're not technically a thief, so you don't know the sign to get the password. But kind of like there's side missions and all that kind of good jazz. First, you gotta buy a license. You gotta buy a license to do thieving trade. But now you can actually steal from people in the town. You could do it even if you didn't go to the Thieves Guild, like you just happen to, break into somebody's house. But they're kind of fun mini adventures. What time of night is it? Middle of the night? Yeah, we got time. I'll show one. So in all the Quest for Glory games, as a thief, there's always places that you can break into. In this one, there's only two houses. There's the old lady's house, and there's the sheriff's house. If my pick lock is good enough. Let's see if we can go in. There we go. So, you are in somebody's house. You want to steal, obviously, anything that you feel could be of value. But, like every, Quest for Glory and Sierra and game, you can die, you can mess up, and then it's kind of game over. And so they're kind of little puzzles. You're also worried about time, because if you're in here and it becomes daytime, then you get caught. There's also things that you can do that'll get you caught and then in trouble. So it's a lot of what can I get away with? Like, oh, obviously I can search the purse. Found 20 silvers. Got a knitting bag. Can, go and look in the knitting bag and you found some pearls. You can search the bench. Yep. Caught in the cracks, 3 silvers. It's only a silver. You can take these candlesticks. But then it's just like, oh man, what else can I get away with? Like, here, we'll go through a couple. So if you bump into the cat, realize that for some reason that the cat transforms, because of course it does. And then you get caught by the sheriff and his goon, and you are essentially sent to jail, where you can't be a hero. So, like, well, I don't want to obviously bump into the cat. What about in here? If you, you know, try and climb the stairs because you want to go in that room. The stairs are too creaky. And that's, I mean, that's all you can get from really the first dungeon. So then, you know, I have pearls and I have candlesticks. I mean, I got some money, which is great. The pearls and candlesticks you would only be able to do something with if you were a member of the Thieves Guild, because then you can sell it for some money. I mean, we're surprisingly close to time, and I feel like I haven't touched on anything. I would totally money. Recommend playing all of the Quest for Glories. I mean, I will probably end up playing them over just because I started this one. The first time you play them through, obviously they are long and possibly confusing, but realistically, it's all just about how much extra stuff you want to do, and if you want to level your character up and all that good stuff. Like, you figure we've played for maybe a half hour, 45 minutes, right? Stealth is already at 63 out of 100 because I've been sneaking everywhere. Climbing at 35. Like, stuff goes up quick. And before you realize it, you know, you have skills that there are some that obviously a little bit harder to dodge. You have to go into battle and then just time your dodges. Kind of that jazz. Let's just get a room for the night. When you start, and it's day 2. Day is dawning. I've already stolen from an old lady and bought some spells and snuck around and fought some battles. But yeah, this game, like, the Quest for Glory series to me, especially this first one, is really all about exploring and finding things that are just kind of either in jokes or, you know, funny little things. My second favorite thing, and I hope it happens, it's not the fox, even though that's great. Just keep walking back and forth. I mean, if you remember the great 90s show that was airing at the same time as this game was being made, then this joke will really pay off. Needless to say, it wasn't a show that stuck around. Here it is. You hide because they're stomping. And it's a dinosaur from the show Dinosaurs going to work. You can only look at it. They just put him in there. It's a little gag in case you go on the screen too many times. Fantastic. But I think that's where we're gonna call it. I did not show you much of this game, and I apologize. But if you ever want to see more, then let me know in the comments below, and hopefully I can start doing these videos a little bit more frequently. Alright guys, see you next time.